Yes.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We are now going off Mike's suggestion. We're going to talk about our top 5 favorite movies of 2025 and our top 3 worst films. Now, this could be any movie we watched in 2025. It does not have to be a new release. So just know that before you come out. It's like, it didn't come out in 225. All 2 people that watched this comment that. That's why we're doing it this way.
Okay.
So who
wants to go? Do you want to go first, Mattias, or what do you want to do?
I can go first. I have to find my list. I didn't plan ahead, as usual.
How unprofessional or unprofessional.
That's okay.
He's not ready.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start with my number 3 worst film. So not the worst one, but there are 2 worse than this one that I saw last year. And number 3 is Blood Rain, The Third Reich from 2010 by the immaculate.
Oh.
Has any of you seen this film?
No, I don't think so.
I have not.
He hired women of the night, if you will, because he didn't want to pay actresses to be in the movie. So like the extras were just like women he found on the street that were like. He was basically like, just come be in this movie.
So I've seen all 3 of this series.
Have you played the games?
I have not. No.
Okay.
So this one is, I mean, I don't remember when the boxing match was with the ball, like 2007 or something. And since then, he doesn't care anymore. And I'm not saying that it was good before, but I think he actually cared before. He tried to be good. Now he doesn't care anymore. And he just wants to maybe not make money. I don't know what his plan is, but it's just, it could have been an interesting story that takes place in the Nazi regime in the Second World War. And Blood Rain is a vampire something, and he could have fought the Nazis, but instead they have actors running around saying nothing and torturing women, and then they die. That's pretty much it. It's incredibly dull, and it's so stupid. And it's my 3rd worst film from last year.
Just for sake of contrast, I'll go next because you had a delightful, what it sounds like, almost like a B movie.
Not even a B
movie.
No. A B movie is generous to the ball nowadays.
Really, like someone found garbage on the street and put it in a DVD player.
My 3rd worst film that I saw last year was a really bad parody of the beach party films from the 1960s. The movie came out in 1987. It's called Back to the Beaches, and I just thought it was first of all, I thought the movie itself was so incredibly stupid and just not funny. And I tried really hard to laugh. I went in with an intention of like good humor, and it's gonna make fun of it. And the other problem that kind of came to my head is I feel like those beach party movies were already moves. They were already kind of ridiculous, and so the idea of making a parody of a parody was kind of pointless. I was telling Mattias before we started recording. To me, the thought that came to my head was, imagine if someone now decided to say, I'm going to make a parody of Meet the Parents. Wouldn't you go and go like, well, the original movie is the parody, kind of like it is like, or if someone were to say, Mattias brought up, he said, what if someone were to say, I'm going to make a parody of Scary Movie? It's like, well, the original movie is already the parody. Like, what's the point of making the parody of a parody? It was not funny. It was so infuriating. Mattias is right. The ending has a little bit of redemption to it, but by the time the ending came around, I was so over this stupid movie that it didn't matter. I gave it 1.5 stars. I was so over it.
My point was that Scary Movie is a parody of Scream that already is a parody.
Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, it's more of a satire than a parody.
Yeah, but still, you have the jokes, and there is no jokes left for Scary Movie. And I know that everybody hates me for saying that. I've seen Back to the Beach. I saw it today, and I agree with you in every way except that, the ending is... There are some jokes in the end, and it doesn't redeem it, but it makes it tolerable to remember it at least. So Benjamin, what's your third?
Well, I actually made a list of 5 movies instead of 3, but whatever. I'm just gonna start by the third worst one, and my pick for third worst isn't really that bad, but it's only because I didn't really see that many bad movies last year. But my pick for third is Spawn from 1997, based on the what's the publisher called? Dark Horse Comics.
Yeah.
And it's not a terrible movie, but it's cheap. It feels cheap, and the main character Spawn just sucks. However, it's a very fun watch, which is why I was a bit apprehensive on putting it on the list, because I do think it's very, very entertaining because it's so bad. And I don't even have to talk about the effects are terrible. The devil character Malbolgia, who shows up in 2 or 3 scenes, might be the worst effect for a mainstream blockbuster movie I've ever seen. It looks worse than anything in The Lawnmower Man. And the funny thing is, I saw it with a friend, and then we decided to watch the series. There was an HBO animated cartoon from 1998, and I didn't like that either. I don't think I like Spawn at all. I would actually much rather watch the there is a me and Mattias saw it. It's called Faust, Love and the Damned, which is a Spawn copy from 2000. And I actually do think that's a much better movie than the Spawn movie. But as I said before, it's not that terrible. It's hugely entertaining, but it fails as a superhero movie, even though Spawn isn't really a superhero, which is fine. He's more of an anti-hero, but why should I care about this character? He's awful. Why should I care about all of these other characters? They're all terrible. So that's my pick for third worst.
The one thing that I would say, I haven't seen it for a while, but the one thing that it has going for it is that the side characters like John Leguizamo and Martin Sheen are having so much fun.
Yes.
That it as you said, it makes it entertaining to watch them having that much fun in a silly, stupid movie like this one. And that makes it, for me, entertaining in that aspect.
I would also like to mention the man who plays like the previous Spawn. I forgot his name. He plays he plays Merlin in Excalibur. He's fantastic. He's the mentor to Spawn, and he's genuinely fantastic in the movie. Although he has probably the funniest scene in the entire movie. Because I believe the movie was cut down quite a bit. It's supposed to be a training montage for Spawn, but it lasts for 30 seconds. And all the mentor character does is he just tells him, oh, you have to do this. Okay, now you've done this, and now you can continue your mission. What's the point of this? But he has a really, really cool voice. Yeah. So, the actors try, even though the guy who plays Spawn isn't really that good.
No, he's the main issue. But Martin Sheen, John Leguizamo, and Nicole Williamson, and some others, as I said, it was a while since I saw it. They are generally good, and they have fun with the role. So it makes it worth it. And
the devil character, Satan, I guess, he's played by Frank Welker. So that's always fun.
Yeah. It's funny because it's been a long time since I saw it, but I had a very painful cinematic weekend the weekend I saw it, because I followed that up with Batman and Robin.
Wow, nice.
And it was just, I was like, man, because I agree with you. Like, I even when I was 12 or whatever it was, whatever the age was that I saw it, it felt to me like a movie version of the Power Rangers. Like, it kind of, like, it was cheesy, it was not great. I didn't like the clown character called, I cannot remember his name, called Castellagario or something like that. I thought he was kind of a weak villain. I actually thought the devil was fine. He was kind of the okay thing. And I remember actually at one point recently, someone told me, they said, oh, you should really appreciate Spawn because it was the first superhero movie with a black actor in it because it predated Blade by a year. And I was like, no. Spawn does not get credit for one scene in the beginning where he shows the guy's black face and then doesn't show that face ever again. You don't get credit for that. Sorry. Blade can get credit for that, but if you cut out the first 5 minutes, it could have been anybody under that Spawn costume. He's not treated as a black character at that point.
Blade fixed the Spawn issue because Blade was like, we're an R-rated movie. We're going to embrace the violence. We're going to embrace the blood, which is what Spawn should have done. Because the comics at the time, because it was the 90s, very edgelord, very dark, very grim, no jokes at all in the comic. Like, the first thing he's trying to take out is a child predator who's an ice cream man. You're like finger paints with blood. And the movie's like, none of that.
Yeah.
PG-13 and have like fart jokes.
Yeah.
But apparently, the creator of Spawn, what's his name? Is it Todd McFarlane? Yeah, he apparently was very satisfied with the movie, for whatever reason. He said in an interview that, I'm really happy how we were able to make a PG movie. I'm not really sure. I don't really follow his line of thinking, but okay, if he was happy,
I think
then
it's more because there was a movie made.
Oh, and he's also he's a very business-minded person. He's also in the cartoon. He's the host of every episode. He introduces every episode, and he's extremely awkward. He's very fun to watch because I don't believe a single thing he's saying. So that's very fun.
Yeah.
Are we going for Patrick, number 3?
All right. My number 3 is, it really pains me to have to put this movie on this list, especially with the sad passing of Rob Reiner. Spinal Tap 2 makes my number 3 spot for worst movie I saw in 2025. I love the original. Have you guys seen the original Spinal Tap?
Yes, multiple times.
So funny. And when I heard they were making a sequel, that's like, music has changed so much. There's so much fertile ground to make fun of and parody, reunion tours and TikTok trends. And the whole movie's basically them like trying to like be a band after having a falling out. And it's just awkward. There's like, the jokes are just like, oh, I'm hitting on this girl. This is my girlfriend. Oh, she's a lesbian. I'm like, that's okay. I guess that's a joke. Like, and then just them kind of just like being like, I'm really mad at him. We haven't talked in years. And the other guy being like, I didn't know we were fighting. Like, that's just okay. Like, I don't know, like none of like the zest or humor or wit of the original movie. And then they don't really know how to end it. So they just kind of like play out like an extended concert. And then there's kind of like a post-credit thing where something goes wrong. And you're like in the hospital.
Yeah.
I don't know. The outtakes were funnier than what was in the actual movie because they do those outtake reels at the end of the movie. And I was like, why was that not in the movie? Because those were actually funnier than I felt like. Oh no. Anyone else see Spinal Tap 2?
No.
I've been wanting to see it, but what I find strange is that, the original movie is about a band who is on the decline. They are outdated even in 1984 when the movie came out. So I guess it would have been funny, without having seen the second movie. But I guess it would have been funnier maybe if they played up the fact that they were outdated 40 years ago. So what are they now? Does it go full circle and they become relevant instead? Or something?
Like it's just kind of like, there's like they're doing one last. They do play up the fact that like they're not relevant anymore. They've got like one final reunion show that they're trying to train for. But it's just, I don't know, like none of the jokes work. It's just one of those movies where it's like you don't really know why they made it. Because no one really feels like they're feeling it. When you see like a movie and you're like, they're not really giving it 100%, and you're just like, okay. I was just bored.
Yeah.
The first thing you can say about a comedy, so I was just bored.
Yeah.
So it kind of sounds
kind of legacy film in that way, I think. I never saw it, but like I got the feeling of, this is just a pure legacy sequel. The first film is so perfect that there's no space to make a sequel to it, and they didn't really know what to do with the sequel, and it really shows. Like,
So it kind of feels like they made a Mighty Wind, but with Spinal Tap instead.
Yeah, and it's like, how long has it been since the original movie too? Like,
More than 40 years, I believe.
I mean, like it's funny because like we all know that movie. Like, I was alone in the theater when I saw it opening week.
Yeah. But
Well, I haven't seen it. I guess they could have taken it's already meta because it's a mockumentary, but I guess they could have made a movie about how they're struggling to make a sequel or something. I guess play up the fact that it's impossible to make or something.
But they just,
yeah.
I don't know. Like it was just like kind of like just a painful movie to watch because you love the original movie so much that you're like, it's painful when you go back to it and you're just like, oh, this really can't come home.
I just want to say that one of you needs to put on headphones because it's I can hear an echo from whoever's talking, but I don't know from which phone it is.
I think it is Patrick, actually.
I actually have Bluetooth headsets right here. So
We could try that.
Mattias, you want to go to your second worst film?
Okay. Now we are in a really dodgy territory with a movie called Nemesis 5, The New Blood.
That's only your
I know
second
for a
worst.
fact that it's on one of our other people's list as well. So maybe we should talk about it when the other person mentioned it. Maybe you should do that now and get it out. Or is it number one on your maybe? It's the fifth film. It's also like a legacy sequel to the film series Nemesis, made by Albert Pune from 92 to 96 or something like that. He made 4 films. The first one is bad. The second one is okay. The third is crap, and the fourth one is bad. This one is worse. No, maybe the third one is worse. I don't know.
The third one is the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Almost.
It's a person who don't know how to make movies. He takes old actors that were famous 40 years ago, and he makes them often be nude, and he makes people sit and talk about something, and then there is a very bad CGI action scene, and then it ends.
So far, it sounds like you're only talking about the third one. So when are you going to talk about the last one?
So yeah, it's terrible, and I'm gonna let Benjamin talk more about it when it's on his list. So
Yes.
Mike, what's yours?
Mine is, and I know Patrick, don't hate me about this. You know me well enough to know this film's going to show up on my body.
I know. I'm already mad.
I hate horror films. I don't like them. I don't like getting scared. I wanted to try it yesterday because this movie got a lot of Oscar buzz, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it a shot. I hated the substance. I was very uncomfortable for most of the film, and then without giving away when that final act happens, I was like, I can't. This is not the film for me. It was too gross. It was too weird. It was too, scary and horrific. I don't like getting scared. I don't understand the therapeutic value in getting scared, the entertainment value in it. And so for me, Demi Moore is not a great actress. She does not give a great performance here. I didn't care about anything that happened in this film. I know I saw Benjamin's. I think I shot Benjamin right there. That probably
I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
Demi Moore did a good job. You could dislike the movie, but keep her name out of your mouth.
No.
I would say that I agree I agree that Demi Moore is not a great actress. I don't agree that she's bad in this film, because she's not. But she's not great. She shouldn't have been Oscar nominated for it. She's good. I could even say that she's very good. It's probably her best performance in her career. Yeah. It's not an Oscar nominated. It's not worth an Oscar nomination in any world ever. I think it's the same thing with someone like Michelle Yeoh for everything, whatever it's called. I think she's brilliant as an actress. Not for that film. She should have won an Oscar for that film. I mean, she's fine, and Demi Moore is fine. She's passable in this one. She works. I like.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess she's passable. You're right. Like,
But,
maybe I
yeah.
about her a little too much.
But I also don't agree that it's a scary movie. I don't think it's scary in anything. It's creepy at times, but it's not scary.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I don't like horror films either. But yeah.
Yeah.
But that's how we disagree, and that's why I think this can be fun. That we are so different.
Yeah.
Except me and Benjamin, because we always think the same about everything.
Yeah. So okay, go ahead, Patrick. Hack us to death. Like.
No, I mean, I definitely think it's a movie that is not for everyone, and I think that's, the fact that it got as much buzz as it did and got to be on the big screen like it was is crazy. Like, I saw this movie in a movie theater, and I'm sitting there like, normally I'm watching these movies at home because they don't get theatrical release, so it was just cool to like sit there. But I was awkward, it was just me and a bunch of other guys in this movie theater, and we're all just kind of like, all right. It's a lot of nudity going on, guys. Don't really make it weird.
All right. So Benjamin, what you got for number 2 for us?
My number 2 is a movie called Fixed, the animated dog movie that you can watch on Netflix.
I wanted to see that one. It's bad.
It's pretty bad. It's made by a director called Genndy Tartakovsky, who I love. He's made Samurai Jack, Primal, Symbiotic Titan. He made the Hotel Transylvania movies, which are mainly geared towards kids, and those are fine. But I think he's a genuine animation genius when it comes to design, animation, editing. Just how he paces his works is super impressive. I don't hate this movie, but I really, really dislike it. Mostly because I saw it with Mattias, of course. We always watch stuff together. Not only, we saw it with one other friend and Mattias' boss. He was also there with us. And it's the movie is the heartwarming story of dogs fucking. That's what it is. No, it's a sex-based comedy that is very raunchy, that is very over the top, and it's just not funny at all. I can like that.
Yeah, go on.
I can like that type. I can like or even love that type of juvenile, silly, childish humor, but it felt very edgy. But in a way that, okay, this was shocking like 30 years ago. It feels like a script that was written in 1996 or something. And this has been a passion project of Genndy Tartakovsky for the past 25 years or something, and I don't get it. What's funny about this? Yeah, it's funny for I guess it's funny for 2 minutes. And the thing that saves it is that the animation is great, the designs are very fun, and the pacing is very good. Yeah, the voice actors do a good job. It's a very well-made product. It's just that the initial idea and the execution, I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
Isn't it like what's Ralph Bakshi's first film called?
Fritz the Cat.
Fritz the Cat. Isn't it something like that, but in modern? I can say that we watched it together, and everybody sat just like at least 3 of us, my boss excluded, wanted to like this movie. We sat there thinking, yeah. And then there is one scene where something happens and it comes out of nowhere. So I laughed extremely loud for like 40 seconds. I couldn't get over that joke. But that's the only time I laughed. So it's very... What's the point? I don't get it either. It's so weird.
That's what makes it so absurd, because of the great animation. That makes it even stranger. If it had really bad animation, like something you would find on YouTube, I don't think I would pay any attention to this movie whatsoever. I only watched it because it has Genndy Tartakovsky's name on it, and it has his style, both the designs and the pacing and all of that. It's just that it's, as I said before, it's been a passion project of him for 25 or 30 years, and I don't understand why. It's very fascinating. It's much more fascinating to think about than to watch. But as I said before, it's not horrible. It's just not funny. And I can handle that if I'm watching it alone. With 3 other people, that becomes agony, to me anyway, if we're sitting there stone-faced and no one's laughing. That's almost funnier than the entire film. Almost.
So, Patrick, number 2.
Your second
All right,
movie.
Mike, you're going to be upset now.
Okay.
My number 2 is Amelia Perez. I just thought that movie was so bad. Like, just, it's offensive. It's total misrepresentation of culture. The way it handles its transgender themes was awful. The music felt like it was written by a computer. Just like I couldn't, like, when it got nominated for an Oscar, I was like, how did this movie get nominated? Like, it's some of like it's just so crazy to me. It's like it felt like if Tommy Wiseau wrote a musical.
That's a compliment to me. That would be awesome. I would pay money to see that.
I mean, I know you. But would it be a good movie though? Would it be worthy of an Oscar?
Yes, in my book, yes. Does anyone else want to go first before I go into this one?
Well, I haven't
I haven't
seen it,
so I wanted to see it, but I never.
You need to see it. Like, it's one of those.
I'm going
you should
to see it. It's just that it has to come to streaming and it's not available yet.
Okay, this is like, I should preface this by saying I genuinely love musicals in a way that I think most people kind of don't. So I go into musicals with a lot of goodwill and a lot of ridiculous.
I gotta say, I love musicals too. I love musicals. That was not my issue. That's all I gotta say.
Okay, so I actually loved the the song choices that they had in that film, because to me it kind of I actually think it very organically fit into the film, because I think I think some music was supposed to reflect the discord and the tension in her life, to show that the music's not supposed to work that way, that it's supposed to feel awkward and weird and strange. And I liked the central performance. That is for what it's worth, that is a trans woman doing that performance. I do agree with you. I didn't love the fact that they didn't pay attention to any of the Mexican heritage in the film, but it's based on a French opera, so it's not even based on a Hispanic source material. It's based on an already kind of foreign thing, and so I kind of took that for what it was worth, where it's like, okay, it's not based on anything in Mexico or in the Hispanic culture. So I had a good time, and I really liked Zoe Saldana in the role. I thought she was really excellent, perhaps the best part of the film. I kind of liked the idea of this main character having to choose and finding ways to kind of reconcile her female self with her male self in a way and I think the film kind of made a very delicate balance on that, and like tried to kind of argue that point, that she has to find a way to integrate both sides of herself. I had a really good time. And again, the music I thought was really fun and really great. I thought the visual style had a lot of flair to it, good energy. Like it wasn't slow, it wasn't meandering. I thought like it was kind of had a good pace to it, I guess is what I'm saying. I really enjoyed this film. So
there's a part in the movie,
Patrick,
where she gets paid by this mafia boss, or I guess cartel boss, or whatever, because he's in Mexico. And they're like, I need to get a sex operation, so I'm going to pay you all this money to go meet with a plastic surgeon about the procedure. So she goes to meet with them, and the guy starts singing like, penis to vagina, or vagina to penis. And then they turn it into like a whole song and dance number where like people are like spinning around and like.
Yeah, but
it was
it's
just
not.
like
It's not a drama. It's not supposed to be a realistic.
It is though. When they
depiction.
talk about it, they talk about it like it's very serious. And then she gets back after the scene, and the person's like, "Where were you? What did you do with my money?" It's like, so she literally just did the thing you told them to do with the money, and you're upset with them for doing the thing you literally you put her on the plane and we're like, "Go do this," and then she came back for doing it, and you were like, "Where were you?" I'm like, this is just.
It's not a social
There's
drama.
so
Patrick.
many moments like that.
You have to join in the ridiculousness of this. It's opera.
But like that's the thing with it being French, was that like they had no reason to like make it the way that they did. Like the director was even just like, I wanted to do it because I wanted to have culture, but he didn't understand the culture.
No, I think I just enjoyed it as a sort of fantasy, almost as a sort of as a big musical fantasy.
If they hadn't tried to envelop it with like real world, because they were trying to make political statements, and they're also trying to make like statements about like the transgender experience, and they hadn't done that, then yeah. But it was just that they're trying to be important and Oscar buzzy, as well as all this stuff. It's just.
Watch it again. You know, get a glass of wine.
I will never watch it again.
Watch it again.
I'm very torn about this movie because you and me and Patrick and me and Michael, we usually disagree on everything.
Yeah.
And now one of you love it and one of you hate it. So what am I gonna think?
I would not say I loved it. I would say I enjoyed it very much.
Okay, so you enjoyed it and the other one hated it. So what am I gonna do? There is almost no way to go.
So who's
should we continue with? Should we take Patrick? If you seem to get a little distracted with things going on. So should we go with your number one?
All right, my number one movie, the worst film I saw of 2025, was The Strangers Chapter 2. It was a horror movie, and I don't know if you guys ever saw the original movie of The Strangers. It was a very simple premise. These people are alone in the woods. Someone knocks on their door. They're like, "Who is it?" They're like, "We're looking for our friend." And they say, "No, they're not here." And then the people go away. And then they come back and break in the house and tie them up. And they're like, "Why are you doing this?" And they have masks on. They're like, "Because you were here." And that's the whole backstory. And we never know why they did it. We never know why they're there. And that's what makes it scary, right? Because it's like the random acts of violence without any explanation and no justification, and then it's over. And it's like, that's scary, right? So then they're like, what if we took that concept and turned it into a trilogy of movies with very, very convoluted backstories? And like, but then the movie was never meant to carry a trilogy, so it just drags out. So I never saw the first movie. So in the second movie, she wakes up in a hospital, and there's just long scenes of her meandering down a hospital, being like, "Is anyone here? Is anyone here?" And then, of course, he shows up with the axe, and she's like, "Oh no!" And then like at one point, she gets attacked by a wild boar, but then it's like that was their pet, and they're very sad about it. Like, just I don't want to get too much spoilers, but then they give the characters this backstory about like how they were like murderous children who grew up to become the murderous adults.
Yeah.
There's so much suspension of disbelief you have to believe that like these children murder people as children, and then no one like intervened to be like, these kids need help, and they were then allowed to control. And there's a whole thing like, I guess the town is in on it. I didn't see the third movie that just came out, but I guess it's supposed to like wrap up the whole mystery. But it's just one of those where you're just like, it was never meant to be this. It's from the director of, do you remember that movie Cutthroat Island that for the longest time was
Rennie
the biggest
Harlan
bomb in cinema history? They gave him the whole trilogy for some reason.
I guess he needs to work. What I find strange
the
is...
third one is supposed to be the worst one.
Really?
I know, and that's why I didn't even bother, because I'm like, the second one was already terrible.
What I find really strange is that the original film came out in 2008. That's close to 20 years. So why make a sequel that much longer? Is it only because whoever company owns this license needs to make
what
something?
I bet happened? I bet he saw Spinal Tap 2 and said, "I'm 20 years early."
I think you're right, though.
This was
Ben,
Spinal Tap
I
2.
think the Blumhouse, acquired the rights to the movie when they like acquisitioned all of like that. I think they got Universal, and I believe could be wrong, but I think Universal had the rights to The Strangers, possibly, because I think the new movies are under Blumhouse. Because I know that like they handle now like the Halloween and all those other franchises. Yeah. So I think they might have acquired. I could be completely wrong, but I think it is like a studio acquired it, and they're like, we got to do something with it now that we've got it. Trilogies are big right now. They shot all 3 back to back to back, so they could just then like release them each year. But it was just, and they make money, and that's the problem, right? Because they make these movies for like what, like $7 million, and then they make 30 million in the box office because people get curious, and so even if it makes 20 million on the third movie, they still made a big profit.
That's true. Surprising no one. I have not seen this movie. I have nothing to say about it. So.
Me neither. But I'm curious now. When I always like hearing about bad movies because then I want to watch them.
But it's not even like so bad that it's good. It's just
that doesn't matter.
Boring.
I watched Nemesis 5 going into it knowing that it's going to be crap.
I mean, this like compared to Nemesis 5, it's probably like Oscar worthy.
Yeah, probably.
You're probably gonna see this and like this isn't even that bad.
So Benjamin, we're going backwards this time. So
yeah,
your
so
number one. What is that?
My number one was your second, so it's Nemesis 5. And the interesting thing about Nemesis 5 before going into talking about the actual film is we've seen all of the other movies leading up to it. And as Mattias said before, it's made by Albert Pune, who is a very interesting filmmaker. And I say interesting in a very loose way. He's genuinely interesting. It's just that he never quite made that great film or good or decent. Like the first movie is not good. The second movie I didn't like either. The third one was horrible. Mostly because it's not even a full film. He has like, 20, 30 minutes of new footage, and he stretches that out to 1 hour and 20 minutes or something. So he repeats scenes, he stretches out scenes, he reuses scenes all the time in the third one. The fourth one I can't remember. Apparently I've seen it, but I can't remember it.
The fourth one is the I'm not going to get, but the third movie and second and third movie has a bodybuilder as the lead, a female bodybuilder as a lead, and she wears clothes the whole movie, both of them. The fourth movie, she's nude. Not that she's topless or anything. She's completely nude in every scene for no reason. Why? I don't know. There is absolutely no reason. She talks to someone. She goes up and sits in a car. She's nude. Then she goes out and kills someone. She's nude. Everything is nude. I don't get it.
But at least it's new footage.
Exactly. That's true. You know that because she's nude.
Yes. Or it could have been reused from the third movie or something. And that leads into the fifth one, which is at the very least. The first one is a real movie. The second one is sort of a real movie. The fourth one is a somewhat real movie. The fifth one is a typical made for DVD or video on demand or something. It's shot on a 15-year-old camcorder. It looks horrible. It sounds horrible. What?
On a terrible green screen.
Yeah, exactly. And it has the actors aren't really acting. I don't think any of them are actually actors. They're more like people they grabbed off the street. And it commits the sin of it's not entertaining to watch at all. It's incredibly boring. If I remember correctly, didn't we see this movie on a train?
Yeah.
Yeah, I found the cart we were sitting in much more interesting to watch than the film. Just try to look at the ceiling and look at the floor or whatever. That was much more entertaining. It's just, it's like an asylum movie. It's horribly made and horribly uninteresting. No. And I would actually much rather watch the third one than this one, because the third one actually has some production value, even if he repeats it 1,000 times.
Mm.
So, Mike.
Me? My worst film, which ironically I saw it on New Year's Day, and I saw the film and I was like, "This has got to be the worst film I'm going to see this year. It cannot be worse. This year cannot get worse than this film," and it didn't. So I was very right in that respect. It's a movie called The Little Death. It is supposed to be a comedy about different sets of couples with different particular sexual fetishes and sexual inclinations, and I hated this movie so intensely. Like, I haven't hated a movie in years. Like, I'm glad we're doing it for this year, for this episode, because I don't think I hated the movie, whatever the worst was from previous years. I don't think I hated it as much as I hated this one. Tonally, it's all over the place. It felt like it was edited together by a bunch of madmen who, like, would have the most sentimental, saccharine, sweet, deep dialogue and cut it right up against the most crass, vulgar, awful like scenes, like on either side of it. And the thing that I really hated the most of it, I'm going to try to kind of keep it a little bit PG to some degree, even though it's not a PG. There is definitely not a PG movie, I don't think. What I hated the most about it is the way in which it talks about these sexual inclinations. And maybe this is the therapist in me coming out a little bit. What they were depicting on screen was actually abusive, was actually mentally harmful to people. So, like, for example, there's a girl who says that she wants, and forgive me for anyone who's insulted by this, but she has a rape fantasy. And so her boyfriend, in order to give her this fantasy, actually arranges for that to happen to her. They're going to a movie. They wind up he pays someone to get mugged. And then she basically freaks out so much that she accidentally hits the muggers, who are trying to switch a mask so that way she would think that she was being raped by her boyfriend. And that's supposed to be funny. And there's another scene of a guy who decides, there's another scene of a woman who has a particular sexual dysfunction, that she can only get arousal when her husband is crying. And so she literally makes him think that she has cancer and she is dying, and goes through chemotherapy and creates fake doctor reports, which devastates him because he thinks his wife is dying. And then she manipulates him to that degree and says, "Okay, well, now I can have sex with you."
Is it like done? Like, are we supposed to think that these are like good choices that they're making, or is it like it's so funny because we know that they're all terrible people and these are bad things that they're doing?
I think it thought it was American Pie. I think that it thought it was American Pie, and for me, it got too dark. And there's another couple who, for example, decides that he can only have intimate contact with his wife when she is drugged out and knocked out. And I said, "There's a word for that." And again, it's played as a joke.
Like, I'm like, you give me, I'm like, that's funny, and then you're like, oh, actually, never mind.
Yeah, like he literally drugs her drink for the equivalent of 6 months, and she wakes up and doesn't have any of these memories of these encounters that she's had with her husband. And the movie just makes it sound like he has Polaroids where it's like in funny positions with his wife doing different things. I'm like, there's a word for this, and it's not comedy, guys. Like,
there is
I hated this film so much. I thought it was so unhealthy and so, like I said, tonally inconsistent, and like I hated it.
What's the guy? I can't remember his name. Who did the original Hairspray and
John Waters.
Yeah, he made a movie called A Dirty Shame. Have any of you seen that? I think it's the latest movie. It's also about sexual fetishes, and I hated it, and people seem to love it nowadays. Have any of you seen it?
Yeah.
I kind of think this sounds kind of the same. It's not rape fantasies in that one. It's more like
it's so extreme in A Dirty Shame because it's like someone gets aroused by like trash. Yeah, so it's like they'll be like rubbing trash on themselves. Like all the fetishes they're not anything that anyone would actually have. It's like
Some,
it's
I
just taken
think,
to such-
some-
Well, I mean, like
people-
I mean, I'm sure someone out there has these fetishes, but there's this whole thing where Johnny Knoxville is talking about the second coming. He's like, we have to wait for the second coming. And like,
Well, and the other thing
let
that
you
I
fill in the
hated,
blanks
sorry,
of what he's talking about.
the little death that made it so bad is it's bookended by psychological quotes describing these conditions as if they are, oh, you just have to accept these people, that these conditions are real, and this is how you would please people who had these conditions.
Oh, that's weird.
And it's like, no.
Well, like A Dirty Shame, John Waters talked about it, and he said part of the thing with the movie is that it's this idea that, like, in our culture, especially American culture, like, sex and deviancy are, like, considered some of, like, the worst things you can have. But he's like, but really, if you pull it out, it's all kind of funny. Like, well, what if the worst thing you do is someone's like, I like trash being rubbed on me? Like, that's not hurting anybody. It's just silly. Like, and I think that was, like, what his intention with the movie was, is kind of just, like, make fun of the way that people are so polarized about fetishes and things like that. And really just, like, how, well, your movie sounds like it's, like, taking a very different approach. Because in that movie, Dirty Shame,
why,
like...
yeah, that's why I brought Dirty Shame up, because when I saw, I didn't like it, but I saw it when it came out, and I mean, I don't know if I would like it more now, but it seems like it's the kind of thing that they wanted to do, but they missed the point. That he's making fun of people who thinks that being a little weird is the worst thing in the world, which John Waters is about, basically. While this movie is about, I like to rape people, and this is how I do it. It seems like the thing, and it seems like really creepy, which means I want to
see it, especially the part about.
If you watch it,
now this is going to be our next movie.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway,
before we continue, I actually found out. I looked the movie up. Apparently, there is a Spanish remake of it, so maybe we should watch that as well.
Yeah. Without subtitles.
Yeah, I'm sure the story is exactly the same.
So, my worst film from last year is something that hurts me deep in the core. I'm a huge Star Trek fan, and there was a new Star Trek movie coming out last year called Star Trek Section 31, which there are a lot of people who hate Star Trek Discovery, and I hate Star Trek Lower Decks. There's the new Strange New World, and the new Starfleet Academy that people hate, and so on. No one hates any of those as much as they hate this one, and for a reason. This is the worst thing ever. It's people who don't understand Star Trek making a Star Trek movie about a character that everybody hates, that is not a good character, and they're making her as the hero, and they film it like it is a John Wick or a Bourne movie, and there are ugly colors, and everything is just. There are jokes in it, supposedly. I don't know. I never found one, but I have read about it. There's going to be jokes in it. I don't know where the jokes are. It's the worst thing ever. I mean, I hate it more than I hate anything else that I've seen the last many years. It's probably on my worst movie list, top 10 movie list ever. It's so bad. And if you haven't seen it, don't.
I don't really like Star Trek that much, so
fuck you. No.
I mean, you know, if you're saying not to watch a bad movie, that it's got to be like the worst movie ever.
Yeah. Maybe if you don't like Star Trek, you're gonna love this one.
Maybe that's the problem.
Yeah.
yeah.
No. Yeah. I don't have much to say about it more because it's. I am miserable in my normal state is being miserable. When I saw that movie, I was worse. I hated the decision to put it on, and I hate that I've watched it, and I hate me even more that it's a Star Trek movie.
I've only seen clips. It seems to be. I mean, we have the other trilogy of movies that came out between 2009 and 2017 or something. I think those movies are perfectly fine. They're basically, if they're trying to do something like Star Wars, a very streamlined action adventure thing, but at least those movies are competently made. I actually like the one from 2009. I think it's a very, very fun movie. So,
I like the first two, actually.
Yeah. So now I want to watch this new one. It seems to be very...
I guess though, I liked that series, but I guess overall I'm not a fan of the TV shows or any of the other things outside.
I've seen one episode.
Yeah. The thing about those movies is it is Star Wars in a Star Trek clothing, which is fine. I mean, I like Star Wars. I prefer Star Trek, but it's fine because it's also drags in new people. I mean, someone like you wouldn't have watched it if it'd been the old way, and that's fine. I prefer the TV shows, but that's also fine. But when what they have done here with the new people who writes them and produces them, I don't think that either they haven't watched Star Trek, or they don't care about it, or they hate it and wants to ruin it. It seems like when Star Trek Discovery came out, it seemed like they were trying something new, might not work perfectly. Now I think they actually are trying to ruin it for everyone. And that's what they have a sexual fetish about. They want to ruin a franchise, and they sit there and I'm not going to use the word for it, but it seems like it's what they're trying to do, and I hate them for it. Yeah.
So eventually this movie is going to have a Spanish remake as well. From the clips I've seen, it seems to be like, from not having seen the actual movie, but it just seems like, Suicide Squad and Guardians, those movies are really popular.
But ugly.
Yes, ugly and badly edited and not funny. We have the script for you. So
the funny part about it is that they were gonna make a TV show about Section 31, which is the least interesting part of Star Trek, but that's another thing. And then they made this as a kind of a pilot episode. There is not going to be a TV show.
Well, it's like Marvel did that with, what was that? The Immortals.
Eternals.
They had like the two
Eternals,
episodes.
yeah.
No. This is a separate thing. It was the Immortals, and they made a 2-episode pilot that got released in theaters, and it just did terrible. And then they were like, "Never mind, we're not making it into a show. Forget about it. It never existed." And then that's why you guys don't even know about it, because like it came out immediately, everyone hated it, and then they just so quickly swept it under the rug. Like it was like, I didn't even get a chance to see it because it just got rid of it so fast.
Well, now I want to see that. They can't keep something from me. I won't allow it.
No.